Home now, new questions on how President Obama could have failed to see the Obamacare debacle rollout. The Hill obtained hundreds of pages of documents showing that Kathleen Sebelius met with or attended calls and events with the president 18 times at the White House in the months before the rollout last October. On the agenda for many of those visits, discussing the health care law. Both Sebelius and the president have said that he did not know about the problems with the website. Many are left wondering, why was he so unaware? Michael Warren, staff writer, Weekly Standard, with us now. Michael, good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
First, the documents from the Hill, 750 of them. Tell us what? How do they paint a picture?
Well, they show that Kathleen Sebelius went to the White House 18 times, as you mentioned, and talked with not only White House senior staff, but also the president himself about Obamacare, about the coming rollout. And so it really does raise the question. Maybe it's not surprising that she went so many times. I mean, this is their big health care law. But that the concept of this website having some problems, having some kinks, it never came up. So that really sort of actually leaves a bunch of questions open about why it didn't come up, why the president didn't bring it up himself, or why Sebelius didn't say, hey, listen, we're having a problem with this website. Maybe we should delay it. Maybe we should make some big fixes before we launch on October 1st.
A big question here, Mike. Do the documents show whether or not the president saw the website? Did he ever log on?
I'd say, it's not clear it's not clear to me what he did know. We do know that the president said afterward, when he was asked about this, that he didn't know anything. There were any problems about the website until after it was launched and we started seeing all these news reports. So it really kind of raised the question again: why? Why didn't he log on? Why didn't he?
Or there could have been another question here, Mike, and that is why not log on? Why did he not boot it up if that's the case?
Exactly. I mean, it's a real question, and it kind of explains, I think, all the activity you've seen from the administration since this botched rollout, which is, it seems to be a lot of ad hoc decisions. Okay, delay this part or change this element of the law as we enforce it. And I think they were really sort of surprised that all of these problems happened. And I think if you understand that they met all these times in the White House and never actually brought up some of the big issues, it explains why they seem to be, kind of making decisions willy-nilly about how to implement the law.
This is from, it's February 14th now. This from 3 months ago today, on November 14th.
I was not informed directly that the website would not be working as the way it was supposed to. Had I been informed, I wouldn't be going out saying, boy, this is going to be great.
Well, if that's the case, then, Mike, it leads us back to the ultimate question. What were they talking about?
That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think if you take the president at his word, if you take Secretary Sebelius at their word, they didn't talk anything about this, and it raised a lot of questions about what kind of leadership skills President Obama was using at the implementation of this giant domestic achievement that he had. And again, I don't know the answer to that, Bill, and I think that big question mark explains a lot of what we've seen in the last several months.
And do you also think, Mike, that they were simply not prepared for the blowback? I mean, when this question comes up about, how's it going, people signing up, how's the website, where they seem so carefree in their responses. Almost as if that's okay, it'll smooth its way out. Just give it time.
Right. It is pretty confusing as to why they seem so okay with the rollout. It really, I think, they maybe have bought into a little bit of their own spin that everything was going to be fine, that once this law was actually implemented, people would like it, and so I think that their sort of lackadaisical attitude about it is really blowing back on them, as we've seen the last few months with those poll numbers you showed earlier in the show. And I do think that the White House bought a little bit into their own spin, and that's been to their detriment.
All right. This poll that you mentioned, if we knew back in 2009 what we know now, should Congress or would Congress have passed Obamacare? 64%, Mike. 2/3 say no. I'll leave you with that in the last word.
Well, I think this just shows you that 2010 was a lot about the way that the law was passed in terms of those midterm elections. I think 2014 is really going to be a referendum on the law itself, and that doesn't look good for President Obama. It doesn't look good for the Democratic Party, and that could be the big question, I think, of this midterm election.
Michael Warren, thank you. Weekly Standard, good to have you on today. Very interesting read at thehill.com. Check it out for more. Thank you, Mike. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Bill.
All right.